Hello, this is Nerdygryl again, and I am back with another Top 5 Wednesday video. This week's topic is the top 5 books that made you think. I think all books make you think a little bit. Even the ones that are just mainly for pleasure, there's usually something that you can learn from the book itself. So I focused more on stuff I learned that are like life lessons and that kind of thing. So, number 5. I said in my last Top 5 Wednesday video I was going to bring this book up again. It's not a book, it's a short story, but I'm going to cheat. And it's Edgar Allan Poe, The Mask of the Red Death. So I have to give you a little bit of background for you to understand why. I was not a big reader. I had a lot of trouble learning how to read when I was in elementary school, and I didn't like to read. I didn't read most of the books that people read as children. Some of them I read as an adult. Never read anything that children usually read, except some picture books. So in junior high, I really started to love Edgar Allan Poe. And one of the teachers, he obsessed about Edgar Allan Poe. And so that's where my love of those stories came from. And this one really touched me because the moral of the story is you can't run from your problems. It will eventually catch you in the end. And that's what happens to Prince Prospero. He gets caught in the end, and he gets what's coming to him. It made me think quite a bit about how you can't really run from your problems. You kind of have to face them head on. So the next one is a read that I read because one of my friends at work kept telling me, you need to read this book. You're in a book club. You need to read this book. You're always reading books. Read this book. I'll read it too. And so I bought the book, didn't read it for about a year, swore to myself I was going to read this book. And it is The Song of Survival, Women Interned. It's also a movie called Paradise Road, and it's by Ellen Cohen. Now, this book is about women who are in internment camps during World War II. And it is a fascinating book. It took me a while to get into it, but once we got into the internment camp, I felt for these characters. And at the end, there was a touching moment when you got to see the other side, which was the soldiers that were keeping these women captive, and saw their perspective. Number 3, Mr. Penumbrum's 24-Hour Bookstore by Robin Sloan. I love this book. It's glow in the dark if you didn't know. In this book, there is some very deep thoughts that I did not think I would think with this book. Thoughts on immortality, thoughts on friendship. And at the end of it, I really wanted to talk about this book. And it's very interesting and really a great read. And the thoughts will not leave you right away. Okay, number 2, I don't have a copy of the book. I'm going to try to add it to the screen. We'll see if I can do it. And that is the book that really got me into reading. Before this, all I really read was horror books that were like R.L. Stine, and I wasn't the best at actually reading them. They were very, very, very short. See? Very short. Like 100 pages. 160 pages. This is the kind of stuff I read before. But this book... Sorry, there's broken glass down there. This book really opened up reading to me. And I have a copy of it, I just don't know where it is. And it made me think about racism, our misconceptions when we're children of people, and just how people are to each other. And that is To Kill a Mockingbird. It is one of my all-time favorite books, and it will always have a special place in my heart. It was the first book that I was required to read that I was ahead of the class in, which was never the case when I was in school. I never wanted to read. I didn't like doing it. And I thoroughly enjoyed this book when I read it when I was a sophomore. I think I was a sophomore in high school. And I have read it a couple times since, and it will always have a special place in my heart. Number 1, book that made me think. Now, there's a little background to this. This book has actually been made into a movie recently. I have not seen the movie. And I read this book in one sitting. And it was just beautiful to me. And it spoke to me because the year before, my grandmother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And the book is Still Alice by Elisa Genova. In this book, you see how much people love each other, and you see how much your mind controls what you think and what you do. And just her early set Alzheimer's, which we were dealing with within my own family at the time, it just hit home to me, and this will always have a special place for me. I will see you next time with another video. Thank you for watching. I will see you later. Bye!